Hey guys, so today I'm going to return to my brief history of videos, and we're going to be talking about the Reed manufacturing company, Reed Pipe Tools, who made the Reed Vises, both bench vices and pipe vices. I'm going to be showing off a couple of Reed 104s. So Reed is still around today. They were originally founded in 1896 by Carl Reed and 3 other investors. They were bought in let me see here. They were bought again by a gentleman named Mr. Wright in 1904. And they produced some of the world's best vices. In fact, I'm just going to put this down. So now, Reed doesn't have a ton of history available. From what I understand, there's been at least 1, if not 2 fires. I do have a new mount for my phone here, so hopefully it will be less jiggly, and in the future, some of these videos are going to be a little better for that purpose. So if we talk to the vice collecting and vice using community who work with vintage vices on a regular basis, you're going to find that Reed is quite often considered the #1 quality vice ever made. Specifically, people are going to talk about the Reed R series. So Reed was based in Erie, Pennsylvania. As we go through their history, Reed did the classic 3-lobe style vise. This is going to be a very familiar style that is mimicked in many manufacturers by Athol, by Parker, by Prentice, and obviously some of those companies like Parker and Prentice are older than Reed. So that is a very, very common style. What stands Reed above them is they tend to have heavier castings. Now, in Erie, Pennsylvania, at various points during the same period, Holland's Manufacturing and Yost were made within miles, if not doors of each other. In fact, there is speculation at some point that the Holland's foundry was producing Holland's, Reed, and Yost with very, very similar designs for a long period of time from the late 1800s up through the mid 1900s. And that can be seen in the model similarities when they went from a 3-bolt style to a 4-bolt style in the R series. This is an early R series vice here. Then I don't have an example of past the R series, but Reed did produce, if you go to Reed Manufacturing, they've got an oval logo today, and that logo was visible in vices produced from the 70s through the 80s and 90s. Now, Reed stopped making vices themselves somewhere in the late 70s. I believe I've not seen any examples past the 80s, so only in the 70s. And then in the late 70s and 80s, Columbian produced them under Reed's name, under license. I believe that was a decision by Reed to stop doing the manufacturing themselves and outsource it. And a lot of those big logo Reeds have many Columbian features, but I believe they did not ever go to the hollow jaw towers that Columbian used, and they are highly collectible. They also switched to just the 1-0 series. They no longer had the 2 at the end of that because they made the base, like Columbian did, as an optional piece that you could buy for swivel bases, or you could just get it stationary to cut down on costs. So what made the Reed R series considered some of the best vices out there? And in the front of it, if you look at it, see how flat that is? There is a collar right there. It's held in with a set screw right here. Now, obviously, I need to clean that off. And this would be from the late 30s or very early 40s. In the very late 30s, they switched from this classic design. And notice these slim cheeks that allows them to easily be put into a press if they're ever frozen, rust frozen and need to be pressed out. That's very convenient as compared to, say, my beloved Athols, which have wider cheeks and they're harder to get into a press. But the R series has that swivel nut. They also have oiling holes, and I'm just going to, I see it's shaking on the table that I got it set up here. But I'm just going to unroll this a little bit. And the pin that holds the vise in, now look how thick that is, by the way. That's almost an inch. But that pin, notice that screw there? So that's a thick pin with a screw to shim it in. So that eliminates slop. Then the set screw with the collar allows these to be extremely precise, extremely strong. They have a hexagonal nut later in their life, which makes them extra strength. They did have a rounded nut early. And this is a brief history of Reed Vises. Now, also of note, Reed is one of a very few manufacturers who produced 8 and especially 9-inch vises. Reed are some of the most highly collectible, commanding some of the highest prices. In fact, to my knowledge, only the Erie Mogul 10 has someone who will pay more than the prices that the Reed 209, about 15 of those are known, and the Reed 109, about 30 of those are known. Those are 9-inch vises, over 300 pounds each. And the only vise that I'm aware of that someone will pay more for is the Erie Mogul 10. There's only one known in the world, and there's a gentleman out in New Mexico, if you ever find one, who's willing to pay $10,000 for one. Incredible money. So keep your eyes open for that. It's a 500-pound vise. But if you ever come across the Reed 208 or 108, those are some of the most sought after and semi-available large vises on Earth. The 107 and 207 are also fairly rare. The 106s are more common and extremely sought after, and I do have one over here, 206, that is going to get restored. Now, the difference between, I'm going to pick you guys up, and the difference between the stationary base, the 104s, and the 2 series is the 2 series was the swivel base. So let's get a look at that. Here's my big Prentice that I've gotten taken care of. But you'll notice here the swivel base. Now this has got some penetrating oil on it because it's binding up a little bit, but this will come out no problem. This big nut. Now this is a 3-bolt style, so this is an older style. That older style is going to have patent pending 1, 2, or 3 patent dates on it. The later Model R series will not have patent dates like that on it. So if you're seeing this, those are some good information. And I hope you guys have enjoyed a brief history of Reed Vises. Have a great day.